All right, awesome. Thank y'all for joining me this evening. This is kind of just an informal CPT workshop just to go over a few things and hopefully get y'all more comfortable working in your CPT manual. I've had quite a few of you guys that have expressed interest in this. Um, y'all been having problems doing some of the assignments and stuff. So I just want to go over some things, some tips and tricks, hints, and that kind of thing, and maybe make it a little bit easier for you guys. Now, I know that some of y'all still do not have a CPT manual. Um, they should be coming. If you started last week, you should get them by the end of this week. If you do not have them by the end of this week, let me know. Okay. And the one that we're working in tonight, the CPT, is this one here. This big, bright yellow guy, real thick, heavy, heavy, heavy. Okay. Again, these manuals are updated yearly. So it's important that if you do not have the most current year, double check your information on a website, possibly the AMA website, or I think it's medicalcodingreview.com is the one that we suggest if you don't have your manual yet. So one of the first things I want to talk about, y'all, is the sections in the CPT manual, all the different information that you can find in this book. Because I mean, there's a ton of information. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. You do not have to worry about memorizing specific codes in this book. Very few coders take the time to memorize codes because they know the codes are going to change. Now, some of them don't change, but the majority of them, as medicine advances, medical technology advances, the codes are going to have to change to keep up with that technology. Either they're going to have new codes or replacement codes or something like that. So the big thing is knowing the manual and where in the manual to find the information that you need. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the different sections. The first thing I suggest that you guys do is go through your manual and label it. Now, let me show y'all what I'm talking about. Stand it up so y'all can see. All right. If y'all will see, I have all these happy little Post-its right here that start my labeling. And I basically, if y'all look, everything's color coded in here, right? Different colors for the different sections. I basically put a label every time the color changed. Okay. And I labeled it with what that section was. And I did a few other things. I've labeled a couple of other pages that have just really useful information for me that I find helpful. Okay. And the first example of that, my first label in this book is before the book even really starts, but it's XX. Okay. You see the XX up there? If you have your manual, go ahead and flip to page XX and we'll see what information is there. All right. So on page XX, you have the beginning of the section that helps you figure out the medical terminology. It gives you a list of prefixes, suffixes, and root words and their meanings. And if y'all have done the medical terminology worksheets that I have assigned, they came straight from here. And this is helpful when I find a word that I don't know. I can look in this section and kind of break down that word and figure out what it means. Okay. Now, I know this is backwards, but if you're following along in your manual, you should see what I'm talking about. But you'll see they have the prefixes, what it means, all this good information to help you figure out these words. Okay. All right. So that's XX. So I have that labeled because I use that a lot. I don't have a medical degree. I've worked in some specialties, but not all of them. So there's some things that I just don't know what they are. But if it comes up in our stuff, I'm pretty confident that I can figure out what it is between the internet, Google searching a word to figure out exactly what it is not against the rules, y'all. Use every resource that you have available to you. Okay. All right. So XX. The next label I have is a major section, and that's the evaluation and management section. Now, where I put my label at was not really in the meat of that section, but at the very beginning where these E&M tables are. Okay, because those are a handy quick reference when you're looking for E&M, evaluation and management codes. Those are going to be your office visits, your inpatient, outpatient visits, hospital care, consultation codes, any of those kind of codes, evaluation and management. Okay, and I've got those labeled because those tables are just handy dandy. All right, and then it goes on and you get into the specifics of E&M a little bit later in that section. Okay, and after that, y'all, I basically went through, and you can start with, I think it was chapter 12 was anesthesia. I might be wrong on that, but whichever one it was, we did evaluation and management codes, and then that next chapter was anesthesia, and then the next one was the integumentary system. Okay. Last week we did the musculoskeletal, and this week we're starting on respiratory, right? So I basically labeled those just like that. Like I said, every time it changed color, I put a label: anesthesia, integumentary, musculoskeletal, respiratory, and I've got cardio, digestive. And I basically just went through, and again, every time it changed color, I labeled it. Okay, so I have a quick reference to know where those sections are. All right. What is then radiology, pathology and laboratory, then medicine. And I also have, I labeled the sections that have your category 2 and your category 3 codes. And then the appendix. And now there are like appendix A through, I think, like Q or something like that. And I don't use all of those. So I didn't label all those. And they're all kind of small sections. Some of them have multiple appendix on the same page. So, but what I do use is the modifiers. Okay. So I put a tab on appendix A and labeled that modifiers because I need to know where those are all the time. Use those pretty regularly, right? And then I just labeled all the other appendixes together. I'll be honest, I don't use those hardly ever. I haven't worked in a field that was so specialized or so on the cutting edge of medicine that I needed to use those appendix a lot. But they are there in case you do need them, and knowing where they are is helpful. Okay. And then the last one, I labeled, of course, the alphabetic index because everything I do in this book starts with that alphabetic index. There's some stuff in the specialties that I've worked in that I could probably go straight to the section and find what I need. But a lot of the stuff I haven't worked in, so I need that alphabetic index to know where to begin and help me narrow down my search, right? Okay, so any questions about the labeling or the different sections or anything like that?
No, man.
Everybody good? Okay.
Yeah, everybody, I'm good with that one.
Okay, very
See, I don't
good.
have problems with the CPT manuals that ICD-10 CM manual.
Right, and we're gonna cover, I'm gonna do the same thing next Monday night, and we're gonna go through ICD-10. Tonight, we're gonna focus on CPT, and then next week, we'll focus on ICD-10. And then I think maybe the week after that, we might even do one, we'll hit up Hicks Picks again.
Okay.
And recover some of that stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, for this week though, we're just sticking with CPT. But I wanted to go over, if y'all don't have any questions on that. And again, that labeling, y'all do that, it'll make your life so much easier. But I want to go through some practice questions. So we're actually going to Have y'all done today's daily assignment yet? The
Yes, I
16?
have.
You
Yes.
have? Good. Good. If you haven't, good. If you have, good. We're about to go through 16-1 real quick, and we can double check your answers and see if you are spot on, if you got a good grasp on it or not. All right. Let me get. All right, y'all. So 16-1 was in today's daily assignments. And that was on page 431 in your step-by-step for medical coding book. And let's look at number 1. Number 1 was endoscopic maxillary antrostomy, something like that. All right, so where do y'all think we're going to start with that one? Where are we going to start to find that code in our CPT manual? Where'd you start, Jennifer?
I looked
Sorry,
at
I was
endoscopy.
on mute.
That's okay. That's okay. I was about to move on anyway. If y'all can't answer me, don't worry about it, okay? I'll move on. I
Okay.
just like to give y'all the opportunity if we can. All right. So I started with antrostomy because I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
All right. And once you look that up in your alphabetic index, it gives you some subsections. Let's see. And I went to sinus and then maxillary because it says endoscopic maxillary. So you want antrostomy, then sinus, then maxillary. All right. Is that pretty much what how y'all followed?
Yeah.
And what CPT code did you come up with?
I'm gonna let Miss Zakayla answer that because I'm pretty sure she'll be right.
That's all right. Julia, are you you're at work, right?
Yeah, because I gotta answer my client right quick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No problem, girl. Do your thing. I'm gonna
Alright.
go ahead and go over this one. Yeah, the CPT code for this one was 31256. Is that what you came up with, Jennifer?
I think I'm looking in my little note.
Okay.
31256.
Uh-huh.
What did I have? Okay, so I was okay, yeah, that's what I had. Sorry.
That's okay. No problem. 31256. Okay, so you came up with the same one I did. Awesome. And I did check the answers in the back of the book, and that is correct. 31256, nasal sinus endoscopy surgical with maxillary antrostomy. So that's worded a little bit different, but basically the same, right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right, so number 2, direct laryngoscopy for removal of a fish bone.
What?
Okay, all right. What you got?
I would have started like in the larynx.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, that's where I would start too, with that procedure, laryngoscopy.
Okay.
And then
Um,
once you find laryngoscopy in your alphabetic index, remember that's where we start, y'all. The
Mhm.
alphabetic index, find that keyword and you'll look it up there. And then once you get
It's so
there,
easy when you walk us through. It's so easy, but like when I do it by myself, it's like, what is going on?
it'll be like that for a little while, but the more you do it, the more confident you'll get and the more it'll
Yeah.
click. There's gonna come one day where you're gonna be doing this just randomly and it's gonna click. You're just gonna be like, why have I been stressing myself about this?
Yes, because I looked in larynx, and then after you keep reading down, then you get to endoscopy, and you read the endoscopy. Then I came up with number code number 31530,
That's correct.
and it said laryngoscopy, and then you got a operative with a foreign body removal.
That's right. Exactly. Let's see. The way the book describes it, they said laryngoscopy and then removal, which would be like surgical removal. And then you're gonna have different options and of a foreign body, right? And that's the one that fits what we have here. A fish bone is definitely a foreign body. Something not of your body, something that does not belong in your body is what they consider a foreign body. And a fish bone definitely qualifies. And that's correct. 31530. Very good. Very, very good. All right, let's take a look at number 3 real quick. All right, after the airway is sufficiently anesthetized, a flexible bronchoscope is inserted through the mouth and advanced to the bronchus, where a transbronchial biopsy of one lobe is obtained. Okay, where are we going to start on this one?
The bronchia.
Yeah, that's what I say, the bronchia.
Bronchoscope. So many big words. So many big words. All right, so let's go to bronchoscope and see where that gets us.
And then you look up biopsy.
Yep. Where does that one take you?
Then it's taking you to 31625, but you don't really know exactly which one. So you go to 31625, then you read it through.
I it's oh, that's what you did because it has insertion of bronchia and it's 315. I mean 31651, but that's probably
Yeah, because you when you get the codes like that, you just you keep reading down till it gets to biopsy, and then when it says 31625 31629, then you gotta go to those codes and you read all those codes in between that one to see which one fits the best.
okay.
What you need me for? You got
I'm
that.
sorry.
You got that all day
I need to
long.
call Miss Julia for my test.
Girl, yes. And that y'all can do that. If y'all want to get together and work on stuff, by all means. That's we have a discussion question this week, and I'm hoping it'll start some conversations between some of y'all. But there is nothing wrong with teaming up with somebody who is stronger in one area than you are. Maybe you can help them in another area. If one of y'all understands CPT real well, and one of you understands ICD-10 real well, no reason why y'all can't help each other if y'all want to. That is absolutely an option. But yeah, perfect. Perfect. Like I said, what you need me for? You got that all day long. When it gives you a range, you got to go in and see which one is the most specific to fit your situation, your scenario. So what did you narrow it down to? What was our ending CPT code for number 3?
I came up with the 31628 because it says the transbronchial lung biopsy with a single lobe. Because the
Yep.
other ones will say with computer assisted image or bronchial with endobronchial biopsy, and it just asks for a lung biopsy.
Very good. Very good. Perfect. You got it. You read through the options and,
Mhm.
you know, took the ones that didn't fit out and you nailed it. Very good. Could not be prouder. We're doing so good. All right. Let's take it. We just got a couple more. Number 4, diagnostic thoracoscopy of the mediastinal space is accomplished with the use of a flexible endoscope that is inserted through a small incision on the chest. No biopsy performed. All right. Where are you going to start on this one? I know y'all know it. I would start with, let's see, first 2 keywords, diagnostic thoracoscopy. That's where I would start. So I would look up thoracoscopy in the alphabetic index and see where that took me, what options it gave me under that. Let's do that.
Can you go back to thorax and use thorax, or you have to look up in thoracoscopy?
I think you could find it by thorax. I think you'd get there.
Okay, because I know we was there before, so I was wondering if we could go back.
I think you would probably get there just fine. Because like I say, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So you can look up the body area and it'll list the procedures underneath it. So if you look up thorax, it should underneath it somewhere say thoracoscopy, and possibly even diagnostic. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think you could definitely get there by looking up thorax. I'm pretty sure. And we'll verify that real quick if you want to. Thorax. Okay, so when I look up thorax, let's see. Angiography, biopsy. Is that really? No, no biopsy. But it was thoracoscopy diagnostics. Let's see.
Yeah, so I think you do better using a thoracoscopy.
When I did thoracoscopy, it took me right to the one code and it says without the biopsy, which was 32601.
There you go.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. That is the code, the 32601. That is correct. And you probably could get through it through the thorax. But you see how under thorax, well, I don't know if you'll see, but it says, see also chest cavity, thoracic structures and stuff like that. So you could actually look up any of those things, the area of the body, and find the different procedures. So you could get there from here. It would just be a longer route. It's much more direct if you go straight to thoracoscopy. Good job, ladies. Good job. Okay, this last one, number 5. And I didn't like this one because you actually, if you don't, there's a medical term that they should have used in this scenario, in my opinion. But we'll see how you guys did with it. Okay, so number 5, segmental resection of the right single lung lobe using a flexible endoscope, surgical thoracoscopy. Thoracoscopy. Been saying it wrong the whole time. All right. So again,
Yeah,
I was
stay at thoracoscopy.
right, right.
This is the one I needed help with because
Hey, Courtney, thanks for coming. I'm glad you came.
yeah, I don't know, this is the one I needed help with. So we start with
Yeah, that's what I would start with.
thoracoscopy. Okay.
Because it even put it in parentheses, because it wanted you to know surgical thoracoscopy,
Okay.
thoracoscopy.
Thoracoscopy.
All right. So once you get to, and I did not like this one. Once you get to thoracoscopy, what does it give you under that as far as options for where to go?
Diagnostic, surgical. That's it.
All right. So we're going to go surgical, right?
Yes.
All right. And does it have any sections under surgical to tell you where to go, or does it give you just like one code?
No, it gives you if it says something surgical with something, and it'll give you the code.
Perfect. Okay.
It'll give you a range of codes in under the thoracoscopy.
All right. Exactly. And this is why I didn't like this one. Okay. So it gives you surgical and your range of codes, right? And then it says with and all these options. Okay. So from the reading, the way I took it, segmental resection of the right single lung lobe using a flexible endoscope. All right, so I'm looking for any of those keywords in here, right? So the thing that I thought of, because I didn't know, I would have went to resection. Resection is an option under there, and it's listed in this scenario, segmental resection of the right single lung lobe. Okay, so that's what I thought. So I went to those codes to see what they were, 32666 and 32667. But once I got there, I realized that those didn't fit what we were talking about or what the scenario was talking about. They were codes that couldn't be used by themselves, and they were kind of add-on codes, basically. Okay, so those did not fit our scenario, but that was what my first thought process would have been, to go there, because I don't really know what all of these other surgical procedures are. But what I did find out was a resection of a lung lobe is called a lobectomy. That was something I found out because I started Google searching what these procedures were to figure out what I needed to do, right? So I found out that lobectomy was really what I needed to look for. So if you look about halfway down this list on surgical, and then with lobectomy, 32663. And that was our answer.
I just found it when you started breaking it down. I just found it.
Right. When I started breaking it down, it didn't really fit what the scenario was. But I didn't know what all those lung procedures were, right? Because again, not a doctor. Now, if I were in a work situation, more often than not, they would have used the word lobectomy in that description somewhere. Or someone there in the office would have clued me into that. Okay.
Yeah, they didn't say that. So when I just kept reading, and then when it says single lobe, I just assume it was that, but I know about a lobectomy.
Exactly.
That's why I say about me being in the medical field. So I just came up with that. I just assumed it was that code.
Right. That gives you a huge heads up, a huge jump start on things. Just having knowing what some of those medical terms are is going to help you out tremendously.
Yes.
But for those of us who, don't have that many years in the medical field, I just have medical office experience. I did home health for a while too, as an overnight aide for someone. but you know, I don't have years and years of being in the medical field where procedures are being performed on patients on a regular basis, you know, and stuff like that. So I don't have a lot of medical terminology knowledge other than what I've worked at, what I've been exposed to, right?
Mhm.
And it's the same for most people, and that's okay. That's why y'all, I say, don't let it get you down. There's still stuff, you know, 7 years into billing and coding that I don't know what some of these procedures are. I can't say some of this stuff right, but I don't have to do the job. Don't have to. So, any questions on that? But yeah, the 32663, if y'all got there, that was the correct answer, and good job. You might have did better than I did. Okay, so any questions about CPT, guys? Courtney, I know you popped in late. I am recording it and I'll get it posted in about an hour or so. So if you want to, just go back and watch the front or the first part of the video. We went over the different sections and just kind of how to label things for easy finding. Okay. All right. You guys have any other questions? Julia, Jennifer, Courtney?
No, ma'am.
No.
Jennifer.
If,
Maybe Jennifer could ask. I don't have any questions.
if you can't think of
I
anything right now,
Yeah, I can't think of nothing right now. I just know that when I'm like doing it with you, it's so much easier. And then I'm on the test, I'm like, I don't know this stuff. And I just need to break it down. Remember how you are breaking everything down and looking for the right word to look up a code.
Right.
That's the only thing I need to work on.
right. And like I say, usually I start with the word that I don't know what it is.
Mhm.
That's kind of the thing for me. If there's a word in there that I don't know, I'm kind of don't know exactly what it is. That's probably the medical procedure or disease or whatever it is.
Right,
So
right.
you just, you know, you just go from there. And sometimes it's trial and error.
Mhm.
It's like I say, one day you're going to be doing this and it's just going to click. It just
I'm
does.
waiting on that day.
It'll come. It'll come. It will come. I promise. But and the CPT is a lot very similar. You have an alphabetic index that you start with, and you go to find your codes. You know that index gives you that place to start, and then you go to the codes to find which one's going to be the right one. But again, we'll go into depth on ICD-10 next Monday. And again, these meetings are not mandatory. But I am giving extra credit for the ones who pop in. So you three get some extra credit for this one. So good for y'all.
Yes.
All right. And again, Julia, Jennifer, I will give me about an hour and I'll have your tests done and this video posted. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
All right,
Thank
you guys.
you.
And if y'all are in there and you think of some questions, just shoot me a text. Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
All right. Y'all have a great night.
Thank you, you too.
bye.
Bye.